Hello, my name is Orla Allen Medium and Orla Allen Author, and here are some cards for you. So the first card we have is the Tower card, and it's quite interesting because as I was taking the cards out of the box, one card was left inside, and when I pulled it out, it was the Tower card. And usually if I was dealing cards and one fell out, I would keep it to the side as being a significant card. But when I seen this Tower card, I didn't want to start with it. I didn't want it to be the first card. I wanted it to be all love and light and happiness. So I put it back into the deck, shuffled them, and what's the first card that comes out? It's the Tower card, which just says to me that I don't have a choice. The cards that come out are the ones that are meant to. So if this resonates with you, please take the message that's contained within it. So the Tower card usually talks about where we have been working towards our hopes and dreams. We have been working our backsides off. We have been aiming for a goal, and that's ultimately going to be what we want. And something's happened. Okay, this can be something which we are responsible for, or it can be something which just comes from left field. And as you can see, lightning struck twice in the same spot. The tree's on fire, and yeah, it's not a great card to start with. But do you know what? Don't lose hope, because we've got two cards after it. So this is talking about where the hopes and dreams and things that we're trying to achieve, something's happened, and something drastic has happened or is about to happen, which kind of sets you on a path which leads you in a different direction. Okay, so it could be that whatever it is you're trying to achieve, you can't because something's got in your way or something's happened and you have to change course. And that's kind of what this card's about, okay? It's talking about where something's happened and the plan that we had, the hope that we had, the aspirations that we have just aren't what they were meant to be, or they just aren't what they used to be, okay? And we have to change course. Now, the next two cards are cup cards, and cup cards are talking about emotions and they're talking about relationships. So this kind of talks to the Tower card as being a relationship card. So it could be that we have been trying to make a relationship work, and either we find out the person's cheating or we find out the person aren't who we think they are. But I also feel like for some of you, this isn't about a relationship. It's about your hopes and dreams and aspirations on a wider scale. So there's very few people that are going to be listening to this that will kind of be the path for them, and it's more about their emotions and stuff as I go on with the next couple of cards. But for the majority of you, this is talking about a relationship where something isn't working and we need to change course. Now, if this relationship is one which you have already been working on, so perhaps things haven't been great and you thought, right, okay, well, we'll try this and see if it works, or see if we can make improvements to it. The Tower card's coming forward to say, nah, change course. That's not going to work for you. Okay, so you need to decide what it is that's happened. Is it something which is so drastic that you need to leave the relationship, or is it something that you can work on? Okay, now I'm not here to tell you how to live your life or what your future is, although you might think that. I'm just talking about the path that you are on, and you have a decision that you need to make. So you need to make changes. Whatever it is that's going on with you, you need to make a big change. And life is forcing your hand. So you'll know what that's referring to, and you'll know whether it's a relationship or you'll know whether it's a career path or something else that you've been working towards. It's not going to be something that's hidden from you. You're not going to have to question what could this possibly mean. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this reading isn't for you. And feel free to scroll on or listen to the end just in case it makes sense just a wee bit further along. So the next card we have is the Six of Cups. Now, if you look on this card, you've got the tree above and you've got the roots below. So this card is talking about where you need to find the balance. Okay, because if you don't have the balance in your life, if you don't have enough roots, the tree isn't going to stand in the ground. If you don't have enough branches, you're not getting enough sustenance from the roots in the tree. So you need to have that balance. You need to have the good and you need to have the bad. Okay, so what I kind of feel like is whatever this Tower card has brought into you, it is uncomfortable. It is not what you wanted. You feel like your hand's being pushed. But I kind of feel like there was a decision that you could have made earlier which would have prevented this, or which would have taken you down this original path. And this is the universe's way of making sure that you go down the right path now. Okay? So you know in your heart what the right path is. You know in your heart what you have to do. Okay? That is your decision. But you should really take what you know is right and take that path sooner rather than later, or you're going to have cards like the Tower card coming out for you. So this Six of Cups card is talking about family. It's talking about the home. It's talking about everything you're trying to create in your life, right? The bigger picture. But it's also saying to you, you can have the bigger picture, but you need to have the balance with it. So you need to make sure that if it's a relationship, you give as much as you receive. And that goes both ways. So if you're doing all the taking, make sure you're giving some back, because it needs to be balanced. It needs to be equal. If you're doing all the giving and the other person isn't, then you need to have a conversation with them and explain what the situation is and be very clear about what it is that you want. Because the third card is the Ace of Cups. Now, for those of you who have decided that perhaps the relationship that you're in isn't the right one, or that you need to go down a different route, the Ace of Cups comes forward to talk about a brand new relationship. For some of you, it will be that you have changed course on your current relationship. And this Ace of Cups is talking about your brand new relationship, but it is your existing relationship in a brand new setting. Okay, so if you've sat your partner down and you've said to them, right, look, I'm doing all the giving here, I'm not getting anything back, I'm not happy about this situation, we either need to rectify the situation or I'm walking away. Right, you've drawn the line in the sand. So this new Ace of Cups for that scenario is where that person listens to you. It might take them a couple of days, they might humph a little bit, but they will move past it and kind of think about, right, okay, well, what did they say? What is it I need to do? What am I doing wrong? Because sometimes they just don't know they're doing anything wrong. You know, you've let them into a nice little situation where they're quite happy to take from you, do you know? But they think everything's all right because you've not said anything. But you, behind the scenes, you're kind of biting your tongue and really frustrated about the situation. But if you don't tell them, if you don't communicate your feelings to that person, they're never going to know. Okay, so this very much feels like you will get a straightaway answer. Okay, it might take a day or two for them to come round after, you know, because this is coming from left field from them. They don't see it coming. Okay, so just make sure that you listen to what they have to say. Give them a day or two to let it sink in, but be very strong about and confident about the action that you're going to take if the situation isn't rectified. For those of you who do decide to walk away from a relationship, and I'm not telling anybody to stay or to go, it's your decision and you know in your heart what you need to do. This Ace of Cups is talking about a brand new relationship, and I feel like this is a turning point for you, and the relationship that you're going to move into is a much more give and take relationship. It's a much better relationship. It's a much more rewarding relationship. So whether that's the relationship with the person you're in or whether that's a brand new relationship, that is what is in your future. Okay? But let me be very clear. If you don't put your foot down now, if you don't communicate what you need from the relationship, then that change isn't going to happen and this brand new relationship isn't going to happen. Okay? Because your future is not written in stone. You decide what your future is. You decide what it is you want and you take action accordingly. Okay? Now, I know that's not easy. Do you know? I know for a lot of people that's a very, very hard thing to do. But if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. Okay? So in other words, if you don't make the changes now, you're just going to continue down the path that you're on. This future isn't magically going to happen for you. You need to take action, whether that's walking away from the relationship, whether it's having a really hard conversation with the person and communicating your needs fully. Okay? And sometimes that means you need to get them to repeat back what they heard so that you make sure that they heard what you're actually saying and they understand what you actually said. And there is the blessing of a brand new relationship out there for you, whether it's with a completely new person or whether it's with the person that you're with and it's the relationship that you've always dreamed of. But that's in your hands. Have an absolutely wonderful day and hopefully I'll speak to you all again soon.